everybody, it is TEMU Tech time again, which means that I've gone ahead and spent around £30 on TEMU finding the weirdest, wackiest and wildest tech to tell you whether it's worth it. Today I actually decided to go down a little bit of a theme. Basically, whenever you buy a new phone, one of the first things that you buy as an accessory is, of course, a case. And TEMU seems like a really good place to go to find your phone cases, because they vary in price from between £1 and £5. So I bought a few normal looking cases, a few leather cases, and a few wacky and wild ones. We've got about 10 in front of me here to take a look at today, and I'm going to show you each one of them and tell you whether I think they are worth it or not. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Okay, so here we are with the first case. This one is just like a matte black everything. It's the simplest case that you can really get on TEMU. It is £2.99, so it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other ones we've got here. But for that, you do get this nice protective ring around each of the cameras. There actually is plastic in there. And flipping it over, we're seeing that it also does have Magsafe. So this is a Magsafe enabled case. Let's go ahead and put the phone in it and see exactly kind of how much protection we're going to get from it. So here we are. Straight away, it doesn't add a ton of bulk and probably adds some sort of like nice protection level to it. However, I'm seeing one major issue here, and that is that all the buttons are held down all of the time. Like, I can't volume up, volume down, I can't press the power button, I can't do anything because all of the buttons are already pushed down. This case is so tight on its tolerances that it's just not usable on a day-to-day basis because of those buttons. It's a shame because this one was actually a more expensive case and it actually looks pretty nice. It's got quite a nice amount of durability to it and it was probably going to offer some kind of protection. But let's go ahead and take a look at the second case that we've got. So here is our second case here. It's a clear case and they call it the luminescent case because it's got these nice little luminescent colour accents around the outside. I went with the blue one because I've got the blue iPhone here, but they had a ton of different colours. This one comes in at £1.80, so it's significantly cheaper than the first one that we looked at. And actually, I think I'd prefer it in terms of its design, because it means that you can still see the colour of the iPhone underneath. It is a clear case, and it is a cheaper clear case, so it's probably going to yellow pretty quickly over time. Let's go ahead and put my phone in the case and see if it has the same issue that that first case did. So straight away, no it doesn't. These buttons are all still accessible and they're all still usable. And I really like this case. It's so simple, offers a certain amount of protection, but also has these nice accents that really help to keep the phone popping in colour, while still showing off the beautiful colour that Apple have chosen with their device. Okay, so here we are with the third case. This is a golden case, which was actually £1.58. It was even cheaper than that luminescent one. And for the money, I think it's a pretty good value. So we still get these little camera cutouts, and we also have the Magsafe there as well. Let's go ahead and just put the phone in the case, and we're gonna notice that it looks pretty nice, right? Like, I actually like how this one looks. It's a mix between that luminescent that we get around the outside, but we also get that Magsafe right in the middle there. And I actually don't hate how the gold looks. Buttons are all accessible and they all work, which is always a plus, obviously. So I actually really like this one. I think this might be one of my favourite ones to date. So now we've got all of the generic cases out of the way, let's take a look at two leather cases. The leather cases are a little bit more expensive, but they have a few additional extra features that I actually quite like. So this one is £3.83. This is on the higher end of where the cases are, but you'll see why in a moment. Taking it out of the bag and taking off this piece here, you're going to notice that in general, it looks like a pretty normal case. With the leather on the back, it is actually real leather. I did do the sniff test on it. It is proper leather. But we can also just pop the back open here. There are two magnets and it becomes a little wallet. So you can actually keep your cards and money in here if you needed to. It's like Apple's wallet case that you can get that just sort of sits on the back, but it actually has full protection and doesn't just use Magsafe to keep it connected. So let's go ahead and push the case on and take a look at how it looks. Okay, so it adds a little bit more bulk than some of the others, obviously because it's got this additional piece of leather on the back, which is the actual wallet portion. I feel like I probably don't have a need for it because I don't ever carry cards or money around with me. I always just use Apple Pay. But if you've got ID cards and that sort of thing, keeping them with your phone is a nice idea, and this case appears to do it pretty nicely. Okay, so this one is actually really expensive. It is £4.49, and again it's a leather case, but this time we've gone with brown leather over the black leather. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we actually get on the case, because that's kind of where I kind of lost it with this case. So this one says deer on the bottom. It's got a deer and it's got a nice little inspirational quote on here as well. A bold attempt is a half success. I'm not sure that's been translated very well from Chinese to English. It's actually quite funny. I think it's quite a fun little quote. I might actually get it printed on a t-shirt. Let's go ahead and put it on the phone. And actually, again, I do kind of like how this one looks. I hate to say it. We have all of the buttons still accessible, nice and easy. We even have these little bumpers on the corner of the case to help with some of that impact tolerance. Okay, so this one is the sports case. It cost me £2.49, but let's go ahead and take a look at what you get for your £2.49. Not entirely sure what makes this a sporty case. It is just a clear case with a load of text on it. Again, all of this text is pretty badly translated. Overall, it's kind of a flimsy design. I guess it will help stop some scratching, but it probably won't do much for the impact damage. I do, however, quite like that this one shows off the generic colour of the phone underneath, and yeah, I don't hate this one as far as cases go. I'll zoom in on some of the text on the back here so you can see it, but you can, as you kind of run your hand over it, you can feel it's not the greatest printing. It's actually printed on the outside of the case. So I think over time, this text is just going to wash right away. Okay, so here we are with the puffer case. This one is £1.13, so it's actually on the cheaper side. Let's go ahead and get it out and take a look at it. So this one is made to look like a puffer jacket. So if you're a bit of a roadman, then potentially this case might be for you. So you and your phone can have matching shitty jackets. Looking on the inside, we're noticing that the camera protector is all the way in, so you are losing all of the nice colour that came with your phone initially. I was actually expecting when I ordered it the puffer to be actually filled with something, but it is just printed that way. We can see on the inside where the ridges are. Let's go ahead and pop it on the phone. There's, I guess, a little bit of protection there because you've got some slight air bubbling. That's quite satisfying. You can kind of push it down and you can fiddle with it and play with it. Buttons appear to be working fine. You're getting a little bit of protection on the screen, but overall, this one is kind of generic. It's a little bit like that first one, but with the fun little puffer pops on there as well. Okay, so we're getting into the last three, and these are the ones that get really weird and wacky. This one is based upon a Nokia 3310. So if you're ever feeling nostalgic for older style mobile phones, this might be the case for you. Straight away, it's perhaps the most generic case going. No Magsafe, nothing. And the actual phone printing is just printed on the back of the case. You can feel that this is just going to come off over time because it's not very well printed on here. But in terms of design, I guess it's pretty fun, isn't it? I mean, look at me, look how hip and cool I am with my old style mobile phone. Oh, I can type on it. It's fine, I guess. I just expected a bit more for my money. This one was quite cheap, I think. Let me have a look. This one was £1.89, so it was a little bit cheaper. So I guess I can't expect high quality printing, but I did kind of expect the buttons to be a little bit tactile and be like puffed out, like the puffer jacket one. Yeah, a little bit disappointed with this one. If it's a vibe that you're going for, then maybe, but for me, generic and disappointing. Okay, so last two, and these are pretty weird. This one is a purple Lamborghini. This one came in actually a little bit cheaper, £2.48, and it is pretty cheesy. Let's just take that plastic off there. Pretty cheesy, but actually I don't hate it again. So we can go ahead and take out the inner protection. You're getting a little bit more protection for your money here. It's a little bit more of a rigid case than some of the others. And it's definitely a vibe or a style. Let's go ahead and put the phone in the case as per usual. Try and get it in there if we can. This one's quite difficult to get in. There we go. So if you look at the front of the phone, you're noticing that the case kind of bleeds over the edges here, making it more comfortable than I was expecting to hold. I wasn't expecting it to be comfortable, but actually it's added a nice contour to your hand. And even my hand on the back here, where my finger would normally rest, is nice and contoured towards the phone. All the buttons are nicely usable and protected. And I guess it looks pretty fun. Like, yeah, you can race your car around, you can race your phone around the table and do some donuts. Just, I don't know why anyone would want one of these, but if you're into your cars, I guess it's a pretty cool case. But let's get on to the most expensive and perhaps the most wild, wacky and weird case going. And that is this one. It is £5.18. And as you can tell, it's a frying pan. Yep, this is a frying pan case for your iPhone. Let's go ahead and pop out the inner there. And we do get a little egg to place somewhere on it with some M3 tape on the back. So let's go ahead and peel that off. And slap it right there. There we go. Perfect. Oh, isn't that is just something. Wow. Let's go ahead and put our phone in the case. I can't believe I spent £5 on this. I guess that's pretty cool. This is just not usable, surely. You can't type on this screen because your hands are stuck against a frying pan. I guess when you're holding it to take a phone call, you can hold the actual handle, which is fun and pretty silly. This is not usable. Come on now. No one's buying this to be usable. People are buying this as a joke for their friends. It's a pretty expensive joke at like £5 something. It's fine in terms of its design, I guess. At least you have your cameras still, they're actually showing, so you can still take your photos if you really wanted to. All the buttons are still accessible, if a little bit awkward to get to. Yeah, overall, I'm not impressed by this case. It's fun for a novelty for all of 5 minutes. So there we have it, guys. 10 iPhone cases, all for under £30 on TEMU. They ranged in quality from the good to the bad to the downright dysfunctional. That first case was not usable. I just can't believe they got the tolerances that wrong. Anyway guys, why don't you tell me in the comment section down below which one you thought was your favourite case and if you plan to buy any of them. While you're down there as well, you can also join TEMU if you haven't already. Use one of my links and it will help me out a ton. And get commenting, get subscribing, liking, all of that good stuff. My name's been Robert, this has been Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.